in terms of alliances, I think that this is exactly the place where we need to be talking about what can be done and what can be achieved when partnering up to express our concern in a political arena about what these types of policies on a state level are really doing to the deterioration, to deteriorate our community, cultural and artistic community. And you know, it's very important as an artist to think beyond the immediate, because certainly artists individually, although some may indeed be affected in their practice by the Illinois Arts Council budget cuts, because maybe they don't get the fellowships or, you know, the organizations that they work with, for example, you know, suffers financially, but their particular practice may not be so directly affected. So oftentimes, because in our you know, kind of climate of political detachment, we no longer have that knee-jerk reaction when things like that do take place. We're a little bit detached. It is extremely important for us to think beyond our immediate needs and goals and think in the long term. How does this policy really impact something that's beyond our immediate practice? And you know, this is a prime example. It could affect the designer that works for the nonprofit. Or the nonprofit, for example, the Chicago Artists Coalition, can't conduct certain programming that affects our practice. We have to potentially cut some of our programs. We haven't yet done so. But the question does come up, can we sustain the same level of programming when there are budget cuts and our grants are smaller? Can we sustain the same level of programming and provide the same level of service at the same caliber to the 2,500, 2,300 members that we have and who rely on those types of services? We also have the newspaper that needs to be mailed on a monthly basis. Not only do the grants atrophy because of these cuts, but also mailing costs increase. So we have had several interesting phenomena take place in the same year. We have experienced the budget cuts, and we have experienced a tremendous amount of mailing cost increases. When those things are put together in the same context, many organizations, not only the CAC, experience tremendous deterioration in their operations. And they really have to be careful how they maintain and sustain their programming. So when we try to figure out how as artists we can impact the world around us, we need to find those issues that in the long run will have a very significant impact on our lives. They might not affect us tomorrow, but they will eventually affect us all. And you know, these types of cuts do. Other types of policies that have been, you know, impacted by these discussions at the state level definitely do as well. So it's not, how shall I say, you know, we've explored the political engagement of our members through various different surveys and through programs. And, you know, little by little we understood that there isn't quite as much a political engagement. But in these days, and especially, of course, with this political campaign in full swing, we need to consider the immediate future rather than just, you know, tomorrow. So there might be reasons for us to analyze how we can partner up with big organizations like the Illinois Arts Alliance and other organizations like Fox Valley Arts Council. You know, wherever we are, we need to partner with organizations that represent those communities. And as I mentioned, in larger numbers, we can really affect change.
You have a lot of information. I'm sure you have a lot of questions. I think one question that would be good, being that maybe 5 years ago, I was kind of on the opposite side of this, so that sounds great, and Alliance sounds great. I don't know, are you going to give me a handout? How do you get connected? I think that'd be a good question for you guys to answer after we get some more questions out there. And just to remember this, that no matter the kind of artist you are, and that you don't even need to be an artist, the alliance piece is, do these people share this common goal, the common interest? And that when I got involved with the Illinois Arts Alliance, it had a profound impact on my life. I would have never guessed. I really thought I was going through emotions when I signed up with them, and what I got was the whole community that was there for a whole wide range of resources and friendships and going to Washington. I've done what Ra's talking about, going to Washington. I was never a politically minded individual until I realized that one person, a 20-something person, could impact that kind of change.
Aside from, all that you talked about, what can these groups, how do they benefit the artists individually by being part of that?
Yeah, which groups?
Like your art coalition?
Oh, well, I think we have slightly different missions.
And I can talk about mine.
And you can speak, and I think that he did introduce his group a little bit. We, as a service organization, as I mentioned, we offer professional development programs for artists. We provide a comprehensive listing of opportunities where artists can exhibit, grants, residences, what they can take advantage of. We also host a very large art exhibition called the Chicago Art Open that features about 300 artists in Chicagoland area. We offer marketing opportunities, visibility on our website. We have about 400 online galleries from 400 different artists. We attract nationwide attention for those interested in purchasing locally. Collectors or even people interested in commissioning artwork come to our website to view artists' work locally. We are a resource for artists, professional artists, and we create the opportunities that artists need to succeed as professionals.
And I would say that a focus of ours is advocacy, and our charge is to make it easy for advocates to get involved in the legislative process. We have a number of events and activities that we facilitate. Melissa mentioned Arts Advocacy Day. Every year we lead a delegation of advocates to Capitol Hill to meet with members of the Illinois Congressional Delegation. That's scheduled for March 31st and April 1st. We'd love to have you accompany us if that's something you're interested in. Details are on our website. We also, as been mentioned, try to make it very easy for you to take action. We're sending out an action alert, and if you sign up, we'll add your email to our list. On Monday, we're sending an action alert to the field to encourage people to contact state lawmakers. We'll be facilitating, the Illinois House will be facilitating budget hearings, and our charge is to make sure that at each of those hearings, people who care about the arts stand up and make their voices heard. And that hearing date, which isn't public yet, but will become public on Monday, will be posted on our website. But we also focus on information, research, and capacity building. So in addition to our advocacy agenda, we have a number of programs and services geared to support artists and arts organizations. We convene the largest conference in the state for arts professionals in partnership with the Illinois Arts Council. It's called the One State Together in the Arts Conference. Our next conference will be held in Peoria in June of 2009, so give you a year heads up there. The other piece that we focus on is leadership development. We conducted a survey of nonprofit arts organizations a few years ago, which found that most nonprofit executives plan to retire. Many of them are baby boomers or pre-baby boomers, and what our focus has become is the next generation of arts leaders. As those current leaders careen toward retirement, that the next generation of arts leaders are ready to step up and assume the leadership baton and lead these cultural institutions. We've published a number of publications around the whole notion of leadership, transition, leadership succession, and we have two programs that focus on matching emerging arts leaders with seasoned professionals, and all that information is on our website as well.